Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Divine honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom to you who's out there that's pushing this truth in all sincerity. So with that, man, I'm gonna just get right into it. 2 Corinthians 12 and 2 Corinthians 12 and 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glorify in my infirmities, that the power of Hamashiach may rest upon me. Yeah, so let me read it one more time. It says, and he said unto me, and that's what basically, man, and it's truth when you go through these afflictions, persecutions, okay, trials and tribulations, it's made to basically make you stronger. Basically it's made to give you a boost in the spirit, so to speak, man. If you don't go through those afflictions, you don't go through different so-called so-called perils, that's not going to build you up, man. This truth is not made to be easy or something that's supposed to keep you in a comfort zone. If you're in a comfort zone, you're not going to grow. Okay, even if you want to compare it to exercising, working out, lifting weights, you have to have some level of resistance if you want to get bigger and stronger. Okay, 1 week you might be bench pressing 135 pounds. That might feel heavy to you, but then months later you'll be benching 200 pounds. And then months later, maybe the following year, you might be able to bench 315 or whatever the case may be. So you have to always have a level of resistance in order to make you stronger. And spiritually, in this truth, these afflictions are like spiritual dumbbells, man. Spiritual dumbbells, spiritual barbells, and we have to conquer these things if we want to become stronger in the spirit. All right. So Paul said, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. All right. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glorify my infirmities, that the power of Yahweh Shai Mashiach may rest upon me. Right. So we glory in the different tribulations the Most High put us through, because we know that it's for our own betterment, man. All right. Next verse, 2 Corinthians 12 and 10. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities. Infirmities could be different illnesses, diseases, in reproaches, in necessities, and persecutions. You see, these are all the things that you're going to have to suffer when you win this, in this truth, man. When you're part of the body, you have to suffer persecution. Okay. It says in necessities and persecutions and distresses for Yahweh Shai Mashiach's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Right. When we are, brought down to a so-called low point. All right. We know when that happens, we know that strength is imparted unto us, man. Okay. It's something that supposedly weighs us down, going back to the whole analogy with the weightlifting. All right, having resistance. Even when we're struggling and we're trying to push out those last few reps, so to speak, we know that then we're actually becoming stronger, man. We're putting stress on our body so that it can know how to basically cope with it, man. So this truth is about going through those afflictions, going through those persecutions, and having the strength to endure, man. The strength and the faith is what's going to carry us over. All right. Now let me go from there. I just thought of a scripture. I believe it's Acts 14. Bear with me one moment. Right. Acts 14 and 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples you know, and that's basically who we are by definition. All right, we are the disciples of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The word disciple goes back to the word discipline, man. All right, you have to be very, very disciplined in this truth. All right, it's confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in faith, and that's what we do to all the brothers, man, from the top all the way down to the bottom. We exhort everybody to continue in the faith. All right, it says that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, so that's the only, man. That's the door that we have to go through, or that's the path that we have to take, man. The path of tribulation. You know, when you read Matthew the 13th chapter, it speaks about the straight gate. All right, meaning a position of difficulty. You know, if you call yourself a disciple of Yahushua and you want to follow Yahushua, you have to take that path. Yahushua said in, I believe, St. John the 10th chapter, he said, "I am the door, and if any man shall climb up, any other way and not by me, he's a thief and a robber." All right, so you have to go through those tribulations and go through that difficult path, but it's all for our betterment, man. All right, it's all for the betterment of the spirit. All right, to be built up, to be strong. All right, to have strength, power. You know, which really that's where the spiritual power starts, man. All right, it's having a, you know, first and foremost, having this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, knowing the Most High's name, but also having the strength to back it up, man. Having the strength to endure, man. You know, that's pretty much the nucleus of the spiritual power that we're going to receive, you know, in the coming future. Okay, so I'm gonna read it again. Acts 14:22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in faith, and that we, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Right. So if you want to enter into the kingdom of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you gotta go through the tribulations, man. There's no other way around it, man. All right. But like I said, it's not made to take now. If you one of the ones that was called and not chosen, then the afflictions and the tribulations is going to tear you down, and eventually you ain't gonna be able to deal with it, man. You're gonna basically you're gonna leave this thing, you know. But but if you're a man of integrity, you're a man of character, this truth is gonna add the hell, so to speak, is gonna add to you, man. All right, it's an old saying in the world: what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, that's an old saying in the world. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So these little, which scriptures speak about this being our light affliction. All right, so these little things that you go through, man, you use it, you flip it into a positive thing, man. That's why Paul said he glorifies in his persecutions, man. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.